Hair. I give up. Classy Cat Select Grade Nietzsche. Hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for joining. It is Fashion Friday. I'm so excited. Today we have an awesome guest. And of course, Loki's giving me a toy because he can't leave me alone. I love you. I love you. I would invite you up, but you would just get me covered in fur. So, as always, feel free to share your shows and ask your questions. Rowdy Roddy, what's up? We're going to be interviewing addicted treasures. Addicted treasures. Chelsea, I'm very excited. So we will. We're gonna just do some introduction, ask questions, general questions. For the first 15 minutes or so, and then I will bring addicted treasures on. So feel free to share your shows and ask questions before we get into the fun. Hello, there she is. Addicted Treasures is in the house. Everyone, make sure that you're following Addicted Treasures. I had so much fun going through your Instagram yesterday and this morning. I didn't want to look like I was stalking you, so I didn't hit like on everything. I will do that later. But I didn't want it to look like, oh my god, the red rooster's like all over my Instagram like a stalker. So I was careful. But then I admitted it in public, so there you go. Bead Kind DIY, good morning. Christy, good morning. Lila, thank you. I couldn't, for the love of all things holy, I could not do this up the way I wanted to, so I gave up and just went. Yeah, and this is a reproduction. This is not an original, but I do have an original vintage item in my background that I did actually wear once. Good morning, Touched by Autism. Good morning, Kath. Headphones would be good just in case, because we do sometimes get an echo. It's a lot of fun. Then, which we've kind of figured out, but it does get annoying for the audience. Time Hop Treasures asks, I noticed that the green toggle is on for bundling already, so we turn it off if we don't want it, and the same for customers. It is an option, yes. So if you go into someone's show and you go to the wallet and the toggle isn't there for you to turn on weekly bundling, then they don't have weekly bundling to offer. My suggestion, my recommendation to all Canadian sellers is to use weekly bundling. Even if you only do one show a week, every once in a while you're going to be on a raid train or something, right? And that's not going to be on your regular day. And it's better to just have it on, and then you won't forget when you do a raid train that you had to turn on weekly bundling for that week so that your buyers could get that discount on their shipping. If somebody buys from Marketplace during the week, that goes in their bundle if they've turned it on. The buyer has to opt, so the seller has to opt into it, and then the buyer has to opt into it. But I'm telling you, yesterday we did a poll, and I know it was a group of interested people who were in the room, but 94% of the people in the room had turned on weekly bundling. There were 2 people who said, no, I haven't turned on weekly bundling yet because I'm not sure. Sicilian Baby says, as a buyer, I love it. Christy M says, just because there's no planned shows don't means they won't go live, worth the wait. Yeah, so I think it's just, so I know that there's a lot of people who do only like one show a month or one show a week, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's, that's you do whatnot your way. But this gives you the flexibility that if you want to go on a raid train or you want to suddenly do a pop-up, you don't have to remember, unless you know absolutely no matter what happens, I'm only going to do one show a week, then maybe you don't want to have weekly bundling. But I say turn it on, because all it means is that it gives you some, if you say you do a show on Friday, your clock won't start until, if they've selected it, if your buyer has selected weekly bundling, the clock won't start until Monday at midnight. So it gives you a little bit of extra time to ship. My recommendation is if you are using weekly bundling and you are a seller who sells more than once a week, still get into the habit of at the end of your shows packing your stuff up. I don't mean like putting it in box, but wrap. If you have stuff that's that could get damaged, you know, like breakables and that sort of thing, wrap your stuff up and get it ready to ship, so that all you have to do is and just put like a little, what I do is I take a post-it note with the person's name on it and I like tape it to the paper that's on the outside of the wrapping. And so I wrap everything at the end of each show, and then come Sunday I will just start, because I'm not doing a show Sunday. So come Sunday, I will start putting everybody's stuff into their different boxes. Now, it doesn't mean that if your buyer doesn't opt into it, it doesn't mean that you can wait until Monday to start shipping. If the buyer has said, I want my stuff right away. So out of all the shipments that I've done, so like last week I had 2 shipments that were immediates and 12 that were weekly bundles. And so far this week I have four weekly bundles and one person who I shipped to it was really easy to ship, so I did that like within 2 hours. In fact, it makes your like right after show shipping really fast for like the stuff that you want to get out right away, because you can just grab just that stuff and concentrate on that, and like it's such a small percentage, so it feels like a show where you didn't sell a lot. It's so much easier. Breakneck Ops, Sydney, good morning. Good morning, Storage Share. Good morning, Kevcast and Tori and Brenda and Elvery Vintage. And who else did I miss? Caranel, Pam Jam. Who else is here? Anita is in the house. Angie's in the house. Mofo Cards is in the house. Bid is in the house. Good morning. Good morning, Sydney. Time Hop Treasures has a vintage show tonight, hoping to hit 1K sales. She's only 73 items away. 4 p.m. Mountain Time, 6 p.m. Eastern. So everyone please bookmark and follow Time Hop Treasures. Jewelry, Angie Cincinnati is selling jewelry this afternoon around 3 p.m. Eastern time. That's awesome. That's awesome. So everyone please check out Angie's show. If you have a show that you would like me to shout out, let me know. This is casting right now also. Besides on Whatnot, this is also on YouTube and on Twitch right now. And if you all can take a moment this weekend and look for me, I am the Red Rooster. Rooster CA. Send. I am the Red Rooster CA or the Red Rooster Canada on Facebook. If you wouldn't mind following me there, I need to get to 100 so I can also start casting onto Facebook Live as well. Angie Cincinnati says, tomorrow I'm doing a yarn show. Some already uploaded for viewing. Ooh! Oh, Angie, you speak in my language. I need more yarn, like I need a hole in the head, as my father would say. But, you know, I need more yarn. Ooh, look at that. You've got, she's got the really good blanket yarn. Oh my gosh, look at all the great blanket yarn. Now, it is brand new. Holy cow. And your prices are amazing. $5 for like a Colorama Halo. $5 for like extra thick blanket yarn. Holy cow. Oh, you're tempting me. Okay. Melody, are you in the house yet? Just checking to see if Melly's in the house. Let me know if you are. Jace, good morning. Alex Storage Share says we have a show every Wednesday at 6:03 p.m. Eastern. We sell jewelry, plush, toys, vintage books, clothes. $3 starts on everything. The username is Storage Share, spelled share like, do you believe in life after love? I really don't think I'm strong enough. Flow, Laloon. Flow, Laloon. Oh, that's fun to say. Good morning. Sydney Bond says, question, can I share my Instagram account in my show notes or will I get in trouble? You're okay with your Instagram. As you're okay with your Instagram. It's just don't say, go to my Instagram so you can find all the other places I sell. But you can definitely say, follow me on Instagram. Like I say, follow me on YouTube. Melody, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Like Sunny and Cher. Yeah. What was that song? Oh my gosh. What was their famous song? I so forgot now. Fashion FriYays. Time Hop Treasures. All of her items for her show tonight, her vintage variety show, are uploaded already. So pre-bid if you can't make it, so you don't miss out. Time Hop Treasures is 73 items away from 1,000 sales. For those who don't know, 1,000 sales is kind of like a benchmark for a lot of us sellers on Whatnot, because once you hit 1,000 sales completed, then you will get instant payout, which just means as soon as you ship out the item, you get the money instead of waiting. Oh yeah, I got you, babe. Thank you. How'd you guys remember? I got you, babe. I got you to hold my hand. I got you to understand. I got you to walk with me. I got you to talk with me. All right, this is not a singing show. Thank you. It's a reproduction. I admit it's reproduction, but it's got puff sleeves, so I gotta love it. It's got puff sleeves and like flare on here, so I do like it. Loki, what want? Mummy busy? Mummy, do you want to come up and say hi? You do. Okay. Yes, come up. No, he just wants to play. I love a puff sleeve too. I love a puff sleeve because of Anna Green Gables. If you're a Canadian girl, you understand. I could just die for puff sleeves. And I just think they're really cute. Although, you know what? I never was big on the. I'm old enough that the joy of shoulder pads. That I lived through the years of shoulder pads, and I never really actually liked. I like the look, which is interesting because one of my like fashion icons that I love so much and I'd clip out was Jean-Paul Gaultier, who was like the king of like ridiculous shoulders, but somehow when I wore them, I didn't like it. Oh, thank you. Why can't you find me on Facebook? Good freaking question. Let me see if I can actually find myself on Facebook, and then we will get going. Melody, I will bring you in. Kylie's in Chicago. Where is it? There it is. The Red Rooster. The Red Rooster Canada. The Red Rooster Canada. That's what it looks like. Same logo. The Red Rooster Canada. I switched everything to the Red Rooster CA. Just because I wanted everything to be consistent and shop the way that my father spelt it, which is that's the Red Rooster is a nod to my dad. Oh shoot, I forgot to do the muting thing here. Go away. There we go. Okay, there we are. All right. I'm sure it'll be fine to dig treasures. If not, you can just fling them off and we'll make it work. We always manage to make it work somehow. So, good morning, everybody. It is Fashion Friday. I'm going to bring on Melody. Are you okay to come on for just a couple of minutes to tell me why you picked Addicted Treasures? Let me know. Oh, Thrifting with ADHD got all of her brass. Let's do it. All right, here we go, folks. Invite to co-host. Confirm. Okay, hang on. I probably
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Ignore the sans maquillage, no makeup.
Oh,
everybody
that's
doing?
okay.
Happy Fashion Friday.
Yay! We made it to another week.
Him. I know. We're on week 3. No, week 4?
Week 4.
Week
yeah,
4.
Week 4.
Wow. Which is great because we've been consistent.
Yes, we have. Consistent. And we've had consistently awesome guests, including today's guest.
Who's very consistent.
Yes. Tell me more about Chelsea and why you picked her for this week.
So I picked Chelsea because I really Chelsea, I've been a little bit stalking your growth. Um, I watched her since the beginning. Um, I would pop in and pop out. There was a period where I sort of took a hiatus from whatnot, so I'd pop in and pop out. And she's really built a following. I've stalked you, girl. She's really built a following, and I mean, I'll let her speak for herself, but I think the reason why she was able to build that following was because she's consistent. She goes on almost every night around the same time, and people know they're going to watch her and they know where to find her.
Yeah.
And I think that's really the key to gaining a following, gaining growth on this platform. Look, I came back a month ago, right? A month ago, month and a half ago, six
Month and a
weeks
half.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Month and a half.
And I was encouraged by Whatnot. They are really pushing fashion sellers from Canada. And one of the things she said is that we want to support you, but you have to agree to be consistent and go on at least 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do that. You have to be consistent. Can you agree to that? And we will support you. And I said, yep. And since then, my followers have tripled. Um, and it really shows, um, when you're consistent, you will see results. It's not always about the other things, the other little things that we think are so important. It's really, I think consistency is probably one of the most important things here on Whatnot. And so that's why I picked Chelsea because I was really thinking, who's a really, and you're always saying it, so that's really what got my mind thinking. Who's a really consistent seller, fashion seller, fashions? We have a lot of consistent non-fashion, but fashion seller. And I think Chelsea is probably the most consistent fashion seller we have right now on Whatnot. And so, do you want me to introduce to, without further ado, are you ready?
Yes, perfect. No, that is awesome. I
Are you
love
ready?
that
Are you ready,
reasoning.
Charles?
All right. Are you ready? Thank you so much, Melody. I love you.
See you
We'll
soon.
see
I'm
you.
here. I'm
Yes.
just getting ready and have a good show. And I'm listening and I'm here. And Chelsea, we're so excited to have you. Happy Fashion Friday, everybody.
Bye. Okay. All right, perfect. And now, Chelsea, I'm going to bring you on, invite to co-host. Thank you for that great introduction, Melody. And Chelsea is going to be on in a second. And this is going to be so much fun. I love this.
Hi,
Did,
guys.
did it
Hear me?
work?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's a little muffled.
Oh shoot. Would you rather me take it off? It's the
Um,
only headphones I have right now.
yeah, try taking it off and let's see if there's a difference. If we get the echo, we might not get the echo.
Hold on. Okay, hold on.
You've got so many people who love you. Everyone's like, "Woo, Chelsea!" I love
Okay.
it.
How does it sound now?
That's good. And there doesn't seem
Is,
to be an echo, right?
is there an echo, guys?
No echo. No echo. Okay, we're good. All right,
Oh, thank
awesome.
God, because I did not want to wear those headphones. Oh my God.
Perfect.
Hi, good morning.
So, good morning, Muskoka Polka. Good morning, everybody. Hi, East Under Resales. Welcome in, everyone. This is Fashion FriYays. We are talking with Chelsea from Addicted Treasures, who's a very consistent seller on Whatnot and has built quite a following. And so I've got a ton of questions to ask you. And
Okay.
we only have like 45 minutes to do so, depending on if Melody's ready on time. But all good. We're gonna go through these questions. I hope I'm gonna get to all of them because I have a lot of questions from my stalking of you. And the reason that we do this is sort of to help people who are thinking about selling on Whatnot, whether they're selling in fashion or not, to just understand more and ask questions. From warm hair last night to sleek and straight this morning. Oh, look at that, Chelsea. You've got all the people
From
checking
worm.
out your hairstyles.
Yesterday I was like, guys, I look like a worm because my hair was like slicked back and I needed to wash my hair. And I was like, oh my God, I feel like I can just dig in the ground right now and just like hibernate.
Slick
Oh
back
my
is a
God.
thing. It's fine.
Yeah, I know. I just felt like a worm.
I love that. So, and Mia Vita asked, yes, Fashion Fridays are taped. We are live on YouTube right now, as well as on Twitch. So
Okay,
you can
awesome.
find me on YouTube and Twitch. It's the Red Rooster CA.
I'm following you on YouTube. I actually watched some of your previous Fashion FriYays.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could see the kind of questions I ask, although it's always a little different. Oh, thank you, EastEnder Resales. It's a reproduction. I wish it was original, but sometimes a girl has to do. Also, the dress I wanted to wear does not fit right now. So
Oh my God, story of my
I
life.
tried to get into it and I was like, I'm actually going to get stuck in this if I try anymore. Because then I was thinking, how do I do a show while I'm like this?
Yeah.
With like, the bra and the boobs hanging out and me with half a dress on. But I was actually thinking I might just like, this may be me for a few hours until my husband gets home. I was like, because I don't know enough. I don't know my neighbors well enough to call them and ask them to come and cut me out of a dress. Anyways, the dress I want to wear is sitting over there and I do love it, but
It's like your
yeah.
gold dress.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I have many of those.
I had to downgrade to this and I'm okay. Good morning, Perfect Storm. Welcome in, everybody. Okay, let's get to it. So you describe yourself as an old soul. How does that show up in what you source and sell?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, okay, so Addicted Treasures kind of started from buying vintage stuff. It was all like vintage vintage cameras, vintage collectible toys, vintage dolls, vintage, just everything was vintage and that's kind of where it started. So, and I've always been kind of drawn to old stuff or things that kind of hold history or kind of some kind of like cool information of like how we've got to where we are now. So I just like learning about like pieces of history and I love to see like objects just kind of like flow through decades of time, which I think is really cool. Like someone loved that enough and took care of it enough and cherished it enough for it to be in my hands right now. So
Yeah.
like that was like a really cool thing for me when I thought about like what this object has actually went through. Like not that like they have like not that they're sentient or anything or like they're like alive, but like I feel like they hold energy. And like so like every time I would like hold like a vintage item, I felt like I felt drawn to it. So I guess that's where my old soul thing comes into play. I also am kind of like a granny. Like I'm kind of like I love I'm just like an old soul. Like I was never in with like the techie stuff. I would always be into like knitting and reading books and kind of just like I don't know, like old school stuff. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that those are like for old people, but you know what I'm saying? Like old school kind of things. So yeah, that's kind of where the old soul comes in.
I love that. And you have now sold 1.4K items on Whatnot. How long have you been on Whatnot?
I've been on since I think end of August.
That's awesome.
So yeah, a few months. Um, yeah, 1.4K.
Yep.
It's great. It's crazy. Like, in December, my goal was to reach 1,000. And I was like pushing out a lot of jewelry shows because jewelry shows can kind of I find that jewelry shows you can get a lot of sales in one show. Because you could run things quick. You're sitting in one spot. You're kind of just like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So, um, so that's kind of how I got to the 1,000 mark in December is I really focused on jewelry. I still do have jewelry shows, but that's kind of that was my focus in getting to 1,000. And I did. I made it like literally on, I think it was 12:02 on New Year's Eve. I was like 60 items short of 1,000. And I had an amazing group of people who were there in my show. Jeff was one of them. I'm sure you guys know who Jeff is, but
Yes.
there was a few of them.
Megahertz.
Yes, Jeff is here
There
right
he
now.
is. There he is, causing
Yeah,
trouble.
so Jeff kind of initiated this idea where it's like, guys, let's all just like buy 60 items and get her to 1,000. And I think he did that with Thrifting with ADHD as well that same night. So yeah, thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, just amazing. So, and that's awesome because I mean, it is even with selling jewelry and doing it fast, it's still hard to get to. It's a
Mhm.
grind, right? Like
There's
you have to be consistent in order to get there. People need to know that that they can show up and what they're going to get from you. Um, when someone comes into one of your shows for the first time, what do you hope they feel?
um seen, I guess, seen, heard, um like just excited, like welcome, I guess, welcome. Like usually when I start my shows, I'm really like peppy. By the end of it, I'm just like, okay, because I go on for like 5, sometimes 6 hours. Like sometimes I have been on for 6 hours, but my average time is usually around 5 hours, which is a lot to to some other people. They're like, how do you do it, right? But yeah, by the beginning of it, I'm like really peppy. I like to like just make people feel like I want to say hi to everybody. Hi to everybody in the chat. Just have good energy, welcoming energy. Ask people how their day is going. Just make them feel seen, really.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's what Miss Sicilian Baby says. You make us feel very seen, which I love. I
oh,
love
is that what
that.
she said? Oh,
There you go. So it's working. Um, your bio talks a lot about intention and mission. How important is that to you as a seller now in what you source and what you sell?
um, okay, it's very important. I feel like I could crack down a little bit more on that, but I do like the idea of like I mean, I live the idea of recycling, right? Like that's what reselling is. And I feel like just doing that alone is part of the mission, right? Um
Absolutely.
like not everything has to be like plastic free and it's like that would help if like things weren't made of things that aren't healthy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But just the idea of recycling is like a huge help in terms of the environment, sustainability. So, I mean, it's a big thing for me, but I really do want to like kind of like get more into that as a seller. Um, like I do like reuse everything. Like if someone's shipping to me an item in like a bubble poly mailer, like I'll reuse it. If I get something in a box, I'm reusing it, obviously. Even if I get like sometimes people will put their clothes in plastic bags, like those ones that like stick clothes. Like I'll reuse those. Like I reuse everything. I reuse everything I possibly can, and nothing gets thrown out at my house. And if it doesn't sell on Whatnot, I'll sell it at a garage sale. I'll donate it. Like nothing ever goes in the garbage
That's
for
awesome.
me. Yeah.
I love that. And I mean, you talked about trying to keep like plastics out. There's so much of our clothes is poly
Yeah.
blends, and the vintage clothes. I mean, one of my favorite. I don't have it anymore, but one of my favorite vintage pieces that I used to wear to work all the time was a polyester. It was a red polyester pantsuit with the flare
Yeah.
and everything, and it was like full on polyester. Like by the end of the day, I was it was a little sauna in there. Say that.
Yeah. It's not breathable for
It's
sure,
not
but
breathable, but damn, I looked good in it, and I
I
miss it.
know. I
I did
know.
donate it. I did donate it. So someone out there probably has my. Like, I was very skinny back then, so someone out there has it. I loved that suit. It was amazing. Used to wear it all the time. I miss it. I miss that suit. I
I
just
think
need
my
it in
I
my
think my
size now.
Yeah, yeah, honestly, I totally hear what you're saying, 'cause a lot of my favorite clothes is like that too, like, sometimes I'm like, I don't wanna look at the tag because I'm just like, I don't wanna have to, like, feel guilty wearing this or like you know what I'm saying? But,
Well, I mean, the damage, the so-called damage has already been done, right? Like it's already
yeah,
out there. So
yeah,
it's much better that we take that and use it rather than it ending up in a landfill.
exactly, yeah.
And
But
that's why
but
I
my
love the upcyclers who take vintage clothes that have like damage in that and they turn it into something. All right, I'm having a little there's a little dog argument happening here because the little one has decided that she wants to be at my feet and Loki is not having it because he wants to be near me. No, she's got space. It's her space right now. No, no, you don't own me. You don't own me. Stop. Holy
This is
poop.
literally my dog when I'm live all the time.
Okay, hey, hang on. I got to move Lily. Oh, I'm
You
sorry.
guys
I
know,
know.
eh?
I know. Lily, you can go over here. You need a space. You can sit on my lap. You have to stop trying to bully Lily. I won't show Lily because she's really miserable right now and she face planted herself this morning into some snow and so she's an absolute mess because she's a tripod and she hates no, it's her space now. Go get your toy. Here, you can have your damn ball.
Oh, man.
It's
Y you
I had you know what I had my daughter early because I said, when I get older, I want to be, kid free and fancy free and everything. And then I got dogs, which
they
are
really
like
are
which are
like
much
children.
more work than
No, I know, trust me, my dog is a little menace. You should see when I'm on my shows, like, anybody in here who's been in my shows, they know my dog is a menace. He wants all the attention to be on him, and he knows that I'm excited, I'm talking to you, so he can feel my energy, and
yeah.
he starts taking the couch cushions, the shoes, the anything he can grab just so I can chase him, and I'm just like, "Oh my goodness," and he
Pay
does it all
attention
the
to
time.
me.
Yeah, oh
Yeah.
my god, all the
I
time.
mean, Romeo is now at that age where
He is
he
a
and
menace.
now that Loki is here to take all the space, Romeo just lies in bed and waits until I'm done my show. When he hears the like we're gonna raid now, he actually when he hears the word raid, he actually gets down off the bed because he knows that means it's time for us to go out. He's listening in the entire time, but
Yeah,
that's hilarious. Barter call. Okay,
they're
back
so
to
smart.
sorry, back to
Yeah, I
talking
was
about
actually
something other than dogs.
I wanted to make a note on what you were saying too. Like, I didn't pay so much attention to the material tags of clothes until my buyers started asking about the material tags because like, sure, you can feel when something's good quality, when something is itchy, like, oh, it's made out of like, a certain material or if it's like really soft. I mean, you can kind of tell, right? Good
Yeah,
quality clothes. So like I never really like looked too much before I was a seller on here. But also, like I said, I started with vintage decor. So I didn't really sell clothes before I jumped on Whatnot, to be honest with you. Now I'm in the whole like fashion category on Whatnot, but I was never like that before. I don't consider myself like a fashion guru, you know what I'm saying? Like I've never really like followed fashion trends. I just wear what I like, right? So, but now I'm really excited like now that I do sell clothes, I feel like I'm empowered to like express myself through clothes and that's something that I kind of did before, but not to this extent. So it's kind of enlightened and brought out this like femininity in me, which is really nice because I always thought I was more masculine leaning. I always kind of wore just clothes that were baggy and made me feel comfortable rather than like expressing color or texture or playing with accessories and stuff like that. So but like yeah, ever since my buyers were like, what is this made out of, like, can you tell me? And then I start looking and I'm like, oh, okay, people really like the natural fibers, like
yeah.
people like the cotton and the wool and the all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's interesting.
And I think that's the awesome thing about Whatnot is that your buyers will teach you so much too. No matter
Yeah.
what category you're in, your buyers have so much information that they can then provide and do so
Mhm.
in the chat. Like everybody shares information, which I
Yep.
really love.
Yep.
It's an amazing part. So how did you land on the Addicted Treasures brand name, and what does it represent to you now?
Okay, so I had a feeling that you might ask this. And you know what? I was in the shower and I was washing my hair and I'm like, why did I name my shop Addicted Treasures? And I was trying to go back because I came up with this name like 10 years ago, like a long, long, long time ago. Cause I've been reselling for a really long time. I started on Facebook Marketplace and I was always on Marketplace. That's just where I always sold. It was very easy, quick exchange, kind of thing. Um, and also I would sell big things, right? So it was easy for people to come pick up a lamp, like a vintage lamp or like a big statue. You know what I'm saying? So, but like, yeah. So my name stemmed from because like I always bought vintage stuff, right? So I'm like, what do you find in the attic? It's always like this forgotten, really cool forgotten item that's just in the attic, and when you find it, you blow off the dust, and you're like, wow, this is cool, Like so,
Yeah.
that's kind of where the name came from. So when I think back, it's like I feel like that's where it stemmed from. And I was like, how can I have a play on words too, where someone has to like think about my name? Like, because it's like so many people also stumble on my name when they say addicted treasures and they're like addicted, like, and like it's so funny because I'm like, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? But I don't care, whatever. It is what it is now. But yeah, like that's where it stemmed from. Okay. And then yeah, what it means to me now, it's still relevant because I do still sell vintage things like vintage decor, but also I really like vintage clothes. So I guess they kind of tie in together. Um I do have a lot of clothing shows where I'm not selling vintage clothes. Like a lot of the clothes I do sell is actually not like super vintage, like true vintage, like maybe from like 90s, early 2000s, right? But like the kind of clothes you would find in the attic might be like old, like
Yeah.
maybe like from the 40s, 50s, you know what I'm saying? Not that if anybody in the chat here was born, like I'm so sorry. I don't like in the 50s or something, but um yeah, so that's kind of how the name has grown, and it is what it yeah, it is what it is now. I was actually curious, like I remember I did a poll one time in my show. I was like, "Guys, should I change my name, like, of my shop? Because like, I feel like people have a hard time saying it." And everybody was like, "No, don't change it." But I was like, "I don't know, like, should I?"
No,
Like,
it's a great
I don't
name.
want I don't want people to, like, have a hard time saying it, but then at the same time, it's kind of memorable because it is a play on the word addicted, right? So, I don't know.
Yeah, I love it because it's just sort of it makes you stop and think for a second, and
Yeah,
anything that makes you stop and think is a good thing. So I
I guess.
absolutely I love that. So yeah, don't change. And it gives you flexibility. It's not like it's addicted clothes or addicted vintage
Yeah,
only. It's treasures. And it doesn't matter the age of something, everything can be a treasure to someone. So it gives you
that's true.
a lot of flexibility, which I love.
That's
Um
true.
Baseball card
That's what
star.ca says, I've been vintage for quite a while. Oh, where's my Geritol? I love it. Um, yeah, and I love I mean it it's just a matter of once people know how to say it, then it's easy for them to say, right?
Yeah,
So
I'm like, "Guys, just call me Chelsea." Like,
yeah,
just call
that
me Chelsea, it's
works.
fine. Yeah.
Um, so what do you love the most about giving pre-loved items a second life through a buyer on Whatnot?
What do I love the most?
Or what are the things that you love about giving pre-loved items a new home with a buyer on Whatnot?
Um, other than a piece other than an item being loved again, pre-loved and not being thrown in the trash, I love when they come I love the feeling when they come to me in my next show and they're like, "Hey, Chelsea, I just got my package. It fits perfectly. It's exactly what I expected." You know, I love it so much. Thank you so much. I can't wait to like see what else you have. Like that feeling to me keeps me going. Like that makes me feel so good because I'm just like, yes, like I succeeded in my mission to like bring this cool item, which I think is a cool item, to someone else for them to now love. And then when they're done with it, hopefully we'll give it to someone else, But like that feeling alone, um, just that's what I love the most is that feeling that people are like really happy with what I'm giving them, what I've brought to them. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, yeah, I would say that because I always tell people in my chat when they come in and they tell me that, I'm like, guys, please don't stop telling me this. Like, because
Yeah.
I need to know that I'm doing something right. And also need to know when I'm doing something wrong. You know, like I want you to come to me and tell me, oh, this is not like this is not how I thought it would fit. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
want to know.
Yeah,
Like the more
exactly.
information that I'm given, the better I can be at finding you what you need and what you want. So,
And someone had a question.
okay,
It's slightly unrelated, but I'm just going to quickly jump on it,
sure.
about the sellers convention that's being planned this year in the States. Yes, there is one planned. I don't know if it's going to include all sellers across the world. More information is coming, but
Mhm.
Whatnot has a
Oh,
tendency to be a little bit short notice on things. So
oh, okay. I think
so
someone told me about it last night. Someone
yeah.
messaged me about it. I forget who it was, but I didn't get into conversation with them because I didn't get to reply back yet. But I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, so it's we'll find out. I know it's being planned. I know it's in the works. It's happening. It's just whether or not it's going to include us is another thing. Plus, I mean, I'm not going. It's in the States.
I
So
know, same, right?
if they include, it would be lovely if they included us somehow by Zoom. That would be great. But
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think that a lot of people are not going to be willing to go into the States, especially
Maybe by
not
next year.
Texas.
Yeah, I know, right?
Sorry.
Texas. I would love to go to Texas, but, like, that's a long ways away. Like, I would love it by, like, next year maybe. The Canadian community on here will just be, like, way bigger, right? I mean, like, from when I started in August, it's huge now in the Canadian realm here on
Yeah.
whatnot. Like, I remember when I started in August, there was, like, a handful, not even joking, just a handful of people that were on here, and we were a tiny community, and we all hung out with each other, and we were all very supportive of each other, you know, and we still are, but I mean, like, there was a small community, and now it's like, holy, I can't even keep up with the amount of sellers on here now. So I'm hoping by next year, maybe there will be like a Canadian convention.
We are planning a meetup. I've been talking with the community team. We are planning a meetup for um the end of this year. It won't be a
Oh, oh,
convention, but it will be a meetup at the end of this year. Probably the first one's going to be in Toronto, everybody. I'm sorry. Um but I have suggested that that there be some regional stuff too, but they haven't gone past their meetups in the U.S. So it's I mean the U.S. is much bigger. So but
yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry, Dave. Shocking, Toronto, but I'm here, so it's closer for me to do
Well,
something in
we're
Toronto.
close, so I didn't realize that you were close to Toronto, so yeah,
Yeah,
we're yeah,
I'm in Hastings, so
okay, okay.
which is just for 35 minutes from Peterborough, an hour from Belleville.
Okay. Yeah, we're
So,
not too far. So I'd be there. Oh my god, I'm so excited.
yeah. I'm glad you love Hastings, Sicilian baby. We're making it even better. I'm on the Hastings Revitalization Association, so we got all kinds of things planned for this year. It's going to be a great
Lone
year for our
Danny's
little.
like
It's a
lonely
little
over
tiny
here.
village. Such a little village, but a mighty village.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so that is coming. I don't have dates. I don't have dates yet, but we have been talking about it. We've been talking about it for like over a year now, but it's now like the plan was to do it last year, and then it got pushed back, and so it's going to be the end of this year. um yeah, so what will happen is there will be meetups and these are casual events. These are not, if you've gone to a Poshmark event, like it's not going to be like that. Lower your expectations. It's going to be chill, fun, not expensive for whatnot. um or us, it's just going to be pretty simple, some fun stuff. Just kind of getting together to meet each other and network, and who knows, each one's going to have like each group that helps work it out eventually. Once the time comes, um it'll sort of, we'll make sure it's like a team of sellers in an area are helping to make it happen. So it's not just one person on their own trying to organize it. And
Mhm.
yeah, I think it's going to be
Well,
great. So
if you
if
need
you
any
want
help,
to, sorry,
if you need any, sorry, I was just gonna say, if you need any help, or if you know, I'm game. I'm
perfect.
there. So yeah, send me a message if you ever need any help with anything.
Awesome. Awesome. And I think I don't know what the dates are, but Absolute Flipping Deals is planning a thrift bus. She's got a Greyhound bus and she's planning a thrift bus, which is different. Can you explain the referral codes to me? I'd like to use them tonight on my first show. So the referral codes are basically what you use on your social media to encourage people to come to your shows and get that $15 off. So that's the one that I would suggest. Chelsea's yellow sweater with her yellow wall background and Kim's
We
yellow glasses.
match.
I
I just
know we
realized,
matchy
yeah.
match. We totally planned it.
Yeah, totally. Yep.
We totally planned it. I couldn't find my black and white glasses because those are the ones I was going to use, but I couldn't. I put them down somewhere. So, okay. Sorry. Let's get back to it. Um, how is selling live on Whatnot changed the way that you source, or has it changed the way that you source?
Oh, definitely. Like 200%. It has definitely changed my whole mindset when sourcing. Um, cause selling live, it's like there's you're I don't know how to explain it. I feel like before I was selling live, I was buying for a very specific person. You know what I mean? Like when I would source vintage stuff, it would be like, "Oh, I hope that the one person out there who will collect this or is looking for this will find this." So now when I'm selling on Whatnot, it's like, what can I find that a group of people, like a lot of people would like? So I'm thinking of it more of like a broader uh like group of people that would like one type of item. And then
Right.
also I source a lot more now in terms of volume.
Well, you have
Um
to. Because you're
yeah,
selling in volume. Yeah.
exactly, exactly. I was just gonna say that is like because you're selling so much in a show, it's very boom, boom, boom. Like I was talking about this the other day in one of my shows is like all of us, our dopamine receptors are like fried. Like we're looking like that's why we scroll so much. That's why we're always like looking for that next buy, right? That next hit, so to speak. And it's like you as a seller need to be able to kind of provide for that, like provide that to people too, right? Because like people like that, right? People want to be like buy, 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 right? Not everybody will be like, spending that much money, but you know what I'm saying? Like people are usually watching a show a whole way through because they want to buy more than one thing.
Yep.
So it's like you want to be fast, you want to have a lot of inventory, not like a crazy amount, but you want to have at least a good variety of sizes, of different styles. So yeah, my volume of my stuff has been a lot more than what I normally would grab. Um, but I'm kind of expanding that as I grow on the platform. So like in the beginning, I started out with like 30, 30 pieces of clothes. I was going through my own closet and I was picking out things for my own closet that didn't fit me anymore. Like, the whole closet clear out idea. But then as my Whatnot started growing, I'm like, okay, I need to go out and actually spend my profits now and actually like get the ball rolling in terms of like business now. Like this is turning into like a business, right?
It
Like
is. Yeah.
in the beginning it was a hobby. It was like, oh, how can I make money off of things that I don't want or need and I want to recycle. So that's kind of how it started. Um but yeah, yeah, that's yeah. I guess that's my answer.
And now with you mentioned how people watch through an entire show because they want to like get as much stuff as they can into their
Usually,
in
yeah,
your box.
usually.
Yeah, I find
Mhm.
that too. No matter what you're selling, people are trying to maximize their savings on shipping.
Yeah,
Have you
exactly.
tried weekly bundling yet?
I have not. I have not, but I just found out that is it all of Canada? Like,
It's all of
has it
Canada now.
now?
It's
Yeah.
available. Yeah,
So
so you
so
can go
I
turn it on.
Yeah, so I just found that out, like, 2 days ago or something. Jeff told me in a show because someone was like, "Chelsea, did you have the bundling now? Like, how is it that like, why didn't they give it to you?" And I'm just like, "I think they're just in beta testing, I just don't have it," you know what I mean? And then Jeff in the show was like, "No, everybody does," and I was like, "Oh my god, thank God for Jeff, eh?" Like,
Yeah.
honestly, Jeff is so on top of everything. He's always been such a supporter, like, thank you, Jeff, if you're still in here. Um He was like a day one supporter for me for sure. But yeah, so I found out only 2 days ago, so I have not tried it out yet. I would like to try it out. I just wanna learn a little bit more about it first, I think, before I go ahead because the only reservation I have with it is that I sell so many different things. Like, I don't just sell clothes. I do have, like, home decor shows. So,
Yep.
like, I sell big pictures, big picture frames, heavy items, things that need a lot of packing, big size boxes, things like that. So, I'm like, "Okay, so wait, if one person buys from, like, because and I have, like, 4 or 5 I have 5 shows a week usually.
Yeah.
If someone bought, like, a lot, right, from every single show, I guess I can just unbundle the packages, like, I could do that, right? Unbundle the boxes.
You
So
could.
I'm just working through that in my head of, like, how I would manage doing, um, the vintage decor shows along with the other shows, so
Yeah. So one of the things you can do is for your like big oversized items and very precious items, do a custom shipping profile for them. So they become a separate box all on their own.
okay, okay,
So
okay.
then they ship out separate from the weekly big bundle. Because yeah, like there's no way you're gonna fit a whole bunch of clothes and a whole bunch of vintage decor and a ginormous picture
Mhm.
into one box. Like it's just not possible. So
Yeah.
um Jeff.
I was a
So
little
I
scared of
would
that.
suggest using a custom shipping profile. Um, I think everyone is gonna find that buyers are gonna come in now looking for weekly bundles. They're gonna look for it and they're gonna be asking for it because they realize that they're saving on their shipping because they don't have to pay if someone comes in and buys from you like five like in every one of your shows, that's 5 boxes you're sending out. Instead, you're just sending out 1 box a week to
Yeah,
them. And
yeah,
yes, you can totally unbundle if the box is too much. You can totally unbundle if the weight gets too high. Um, it will automatically unbundle if the weight goes beyond a certain amount. I can't remember what it is, but so just
yeah,
make sure your weights are higher, right? Make sure your weights are don't don't go with like the bare minimum. Go the next
yeah,
one up. Duchess
okay.
Finches says also, you enable bundle shipping. Can customers still choose to just have you ship after a single show? Yes. So it's an opt in for the sellers, although I'm recommending that you turn it on, and it's an opt in for the buyers. I will say that my experience has been that the majority, like 90+% of people, are using like the buyers are using weekly bundling. That's what they want. So yeah, so if you go into someone's show and you're like, I need that sooner than being shipped out on Monday, then you can just toggle it off during that show, buy that stuff, and then you can toggle it back on after you finish that show, watching that show and buying stuff. So you just have to go in to the wallet and toggle it off if you're a buyer and you don't want to wait if you want the item right away. Otherwise, just turn it on. Buyers are gonna save money. Sellers, the only thing with sellers is you need to set that stuff aside to ship out. And my recommendation is just after every show, do your packaging up like you normally do, but like get it ready to ship so it's like box ready um, beforehand would be my recommendation. Um,
I was chatting with Alex Storage Share yesterday. He was in the chat up here, I think. And I was kind of picking his brain a little bit too about the bundling. And I think he said as a seller, you can also just generate like if you generate the label, it will automatically cut the bundling there for that person. Like you
yes.
don't you don't have to like the buyer doesn't have to keep toggling on and off. The seller would just have to generate the shipping label and that ends that bundle, if I'm correct. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's what he
if a buyer messages you and says, can you ship all my stuff early? Then you
Yeah.
have the option to do that. You don't
Okay.
have to. You don't
Okay.
have to as a seller. It's good customer service to do so, if a buyer does ask. But and Duchess Finch just asked, as a seller, would you see if someone toggled it off so you know when to ship? Yes, at the end of each one of your shows, you're going to go and look at your pending shipments, and it will say what day it needs to go out by. So all of
Okay.
mine right now are sitting with February 1st because that's when my bundle ends. So it says February 1st. So February
Okay.
1st is when I need to start shipping it.
And does
So
it
it tells you
and
that.
does it end at midnight on Sunday? Like,
Midnight at Sunday.
yeah.
So if you're
Okay.
doing a show at 11 p.m. on Sunday and you go over midnight, all items that were sold at or before midnight on Sunday go into that week's box, and anything that sells from 12:01 p.m. onwards on Monday go into the following week's box.
Or 12,
So
yeah.
and in
Okay.
Beck was in from Australia on Tuesday, I think, and she in Australia has had weekly bundling for a long, like a few months now, because I think they started in like June or July, and it does not affect your shipping dates, no, unless you don't ship on time. Um, uh, so Beck says that a lot of sellers are doing midnight shows, like up to midnight shows, and they have like a countdown clock, and they do speed rounds for the last half hour before
Oh,
midnight
okay.
with like a countdown clock in the background, and they're just like boom, boom, boom,
That's
boom, and
that's
people
fun.
love it. People are like
Yeah.
loving it in Australia, and so that's an idea for anyone who is willing to stay up that
Oh,
late.
what a fun
I
way to
I
do
am
that.
I am at that age now where, I mean, maybe I will, like when menopause, next stage of menopause hits, maybe I will be up in the middle of the night, and so I'll be able to do those kind of shows. But right
Oh
now,
my
it's
god.
for the rest of you all you youngins out there. You stay up until midnight doing that. I'm already in bed, with true crime in the background or
Ooh, true
something else.
crime.
True
That's
crime or
such a vibe.
British crime.
Yeah, I
British
feel
crime
that.
dramas.
That's
I don't
me
know how
through
there's
through and
anybody
through.
left living in England based on the number of murders that happen on TV. Um, so the
That's so
information
funny.
about the whatnot charges can be found at help.whatnot.com. Um, okay, so let's we've got just a few more minutes left. Mel, if you're listening, let me know if you need extra time. So someone asked how you do your, actually wait, let me just scroll back up again.
The pricing.
How do you price your items? So what does it, I mean, obviously what it did cost you, and then what is
Yeah.
its value, but what do you have, like a pricing strategy in general, or
Mm, I mean, I kind of learn the sweet spot of pricing for people, like for my buyers. Like, it really just depends on like on your own shop, I feel, and what you sell and what you're popular for. I like that goes along with branding. Like as you grow as as a shop, your prices on things adjust.
yeah,
Because in the beginning, I was pricing things very low because it was I couldn't, there was very little viewers, very little engagement happening, and I wanted to give people really good deals, obviously. And also it was coming from my own closet. So it was like I can price things at $2, whatever,
because
right?
you can
2,
afford
$3.
to, yeah.
Which, yeah, because I can afford to. And also, I'm just trying to get rid of stuff to make room in my closet, right? But then when it started growing, like your prices start changing according to your growth. So, and also, so I kind of have sweet spots that work. So like I just focus on what my buyers buy. Like, I know that like pricing something too high, and also, okay, you know what? Hold on, I'm thinking now. There's so for my vintage decor, I find that I could price up a little bit more because it's unique. It could be one of a kind. The condition of it could be really good, and it's hard to find maybe in that condition, or it's like
Yep.
super, super, super collectible. Um, those things also play a factor in my pricing. So my vintage decor shows, I do tend to price up just a tiny bit more, because it has been successful for me, and like I said, you're getting unique items, right?
Yep.
With clothing, I find there's sweet spots. Like for sweaters, I will usually go around 8 to 15. I try not to go over that because I find once it gets above 15, people are like less likely to buy. And that's just from my own shows. So you
Mhm.
learn that as you go. Like, so, and branding, sometimes I don't even focus on branding too much with clothes, because I feel like I don't wanna cater to the idea of just wearing brands.
Yeah.
I want people to focus more on how do you feel in it? Do you like it? Do you like the color? Is it your size? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I want people to focus on, is feeling good in it, not being like, "Here's the name tag, here's the brand." Like, I don't care about the brands, really.
Yeah.
But if I did score a really nice thing at the store, at the thrift store, that was like, Versace or like, some crazy brand, and let's say I lucked out and I got that, I would probably push that more um, maybe possibly a different platform, only because I know what my audience looks for on this platform. So I'm
Mhm.
not gonna like push a freaking $100, sorry, friggin',
It's
I'm
all
sorry.
good. I have
I'm
I
not
have
gonna
explicit
push
on all the time.
okay, okay. I'm not gonna push like $100 sweater on my Whatnot lives because I know it's not gonna sell, and there's no point in me wasting that energy. I'd rather just,
Because
yeah,
that's not the buyer group that you've
yeah.
curated
That's
and
not like my,
collected.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
there's other folks who do sell like $200-$300 sweaters on here. It's a
yeah,
matter of if that's not your regular shtick, but you
exactly,
could always put it in your buy it now. So you could have it on
exactly.
another platform as well, but you could put it in
Yeah,
your buy it now, and you never know, that person may come into your show, and next thing you know, you got a sweater gone, right?
that's exactly actually. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to say as well. Is like you can always put it in your buy it now so that it does get some views, and someone might like it and they might buy it. So, but I'm not gonna like run it in my auctions if that's not my demographic. If that's not the people that are like are usually spending
Yeah,
in my stores. Yeah.
yeah, and I love the fact about that one fact about Whatnot, amongst all the things that are great about Whatnot, the feature of you have choice.
Yeah.
You don't just have to do auction. You don't just have to do buy it now. You can do flash sale. You can just
Yeah.
put it static listing up in your profile on your store, on your profile. Like there are so many ways to sell on Whatnot that if you find something, like I've got a whole bunch of irregular choice purses that I just got at auction, and I have to go through them, and I'm going to take pictures, and I'm going to put them in my store and in my buy it now. They're not going to be for the average person who comes into my shows necessarily. Um, but someone might see them and want them. And so I'll just let them sit there because they're super cute. So I don't
Yeah.
mind if they stay with me for a while. But sometimes if you find something, if you luck in on something, you might as well put it at the right price for you. And I think the one thing that um, a lot of people make the mistake when they start on Whatnot is they watch a bunch of shows of big sellers in the States
Yeah.
in a lot of different categories, and they tend to go into, like, I find that when people are researching Whatnot, they go into shows that aren't actually related to, like, they'll go into a TCG show in the States, and they'll be like, it's all $1 start. So they'll go into like a crazy like storage auction show in the States. It's got like 300-400 people in the room, and they'll see $1 starts, and they think that's what they have to do. You do not have to do that.
Yeah.
There is a space for every price point on this app.
Yeah.
There are luxury bag buyers who are spending
Mhm.
thousands of dollars per item on luxury items. There is a
Yeah.
space for, I don't recommend doing $1 starts because the fees
Yeah.
eat you up. If you want to do a
Same.
$1 start on something, do take two of those things or two similar things and make a $2 start,
Yeah.
because then you'll sell both items and you're only paying that 30 cents payment processing fee once, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
only 15 cents per item instead of 30 cents per item. So
I
I think that a lot of people make that mistake. They start researching Whatnot, and they watch videos, and they think $1 starts is what you have to do, and you do not have to. Also, pricing to what you need to get for an item is important.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people think, I did a show, I ran all these things didn't sell, so I shouldn't, like, they didn't sell on Whatnot, the end. And it's like, no, they didn't sell on Whatnot that day. If you
Yeah.
went into a Hallmark store in the mall, you don't see them put out a bunch of stuff in the morning, and at the end of night they don't take all the stuff that's on the shelves and throw it into a truck and send it away and then bring
Yeah,
out new stuff the next day.
I
they
know.
put out they put out new merchandise when there's space and at times, but they wait for the next time, the next day, the day after that, a week later. So don't
Yeah.
assume just because it didn't sell that one day that it's not going to sell another day.
I love that.
um,
That's such a good example actually of, like, where it's like, don't undervalue your stuff just because it didn't sell one day. Like, it's
yeah,
like there is so many, maybe you just didn't have the right audience, like, the right person, like,
it just
in
takes
that
one
show.
person, one
Yeah.
person or two people if you want to have a bidding war. But like, your stuff, everything is so unique and everybody is so unique. And like, I'm amazed sometimes. I have stuff that I have brought out every once in a while for like 3 years because I just kind of, I
Mhm.
try and keep the stuff that I really like that doesn't sell. Other stuff goes into my market, my antique market, and then other stuff goes to auction, like live auction, that I do. So like I have multiple avenues for deciding what I want to keep and hold on to. And I've had stuff like that I tried selling 3 years ago almost on Whatnot because I'm coming up to my Whatnot anniversary soon, and now like it sold like 3 months ago. It finally sold. So 2 years later, now I don't suggest that everybody do that, but the right
Yeah.
person just wasn't in the room, right? So
Yeah.
the only hard part is space. And how do you deal with sort of inventory management space? Do you have like a in-home system, or do you have an actual space?
Oh my god. Okay, so I was reading Trinity, that's Trinity there, saying, "The only hard part for me is space," and laughing face emoji, seriously, because it's like, yeah, you can hold on to things and be like, "Well, it just didn't sell today, I'll try again for the next year," right? It's like, you could do that, but so my comment to that is, okay, so I don't live in, like, a very big space. I don't have, like, a storage room, like, I use my shed, like, I'll operate out of my shed sometimes, the things that I could safely keep in there without it being damaged due to weather or anything like that. Um, but like, my comment to that about the space is that as you grow as a seller on Whatnot, you will get better at sourcing, and items won't stay with you so long. Eventually, you'll get so good at sourcing the right things that they don't stick around very long. So, like, in the beginning, you might find that, "Oh, I tested out this item and it didn't work and it didn't sell." Well, you can, like you said, you can do something else. You can put it on another platform. You can have, one of my favorite things to do is to hold on to items that didn't sell well on Whatnot. I'll have a garage sale. Like, I have garage sales all summer long, and so whatever doesn't sell on my Whatnot, I have a huge stash in my shed that's saved for my garage sales.
Yeah,
So that's kind of like, I always have, like, a backup plan for those items, but, like, you truly do get better at sourcing the more that you do it. Because in the beginning, I was, like, really testing the waters, like, because especially because I'm not a fashion seller. I don't consider myself, even now, I don't consider but I'm starting to feel like I am because I'm selling so much clothes now. So my branding has kinda changed, I guess. Branding has kind of changed over the few months, but, um yeah, like, as you source and as you grow, you get better at it. And you need to test the waters because you don't know what your audience will like, what your buyers will like. So, it's good to test the waters and just have a backup plan for those items. Don't, like, start hoarding and keep buying and buying and buying, and then you have no space in your house because you're just saving everything, right? But,
yeah.
um, you learn as you go with sourcing, with what to get.
And a couple of people have said like that you can do a garage sale on Whatnot too. And I've done a
Ah,
live from my garage sale
I'm gonna do that
twice
this summer
now.
for the first time.
It's garage sale shows are a lot of fun. And um
I'm so excited. I love garage sales.
Yeah. So like garage sale shows on Whatnot are really a lot of fun. And Time Hop Treasures is going to do a garage sale show in a month. So it'll be obviously an indoor one. I've done it where it's literally I'm standing on my driveway. People are coming up the driveway trying to buy stuff while I'm also like in the midst of selling stuff.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Maybe
like,
I'll show up to one of your garage sales this summer.
yeah,
And
well, I don't
maybe you can pop up in one of mine.
Yeah, well, because I do auctions now, live auctions. I don't do garage sales. I just get rid of the stuff there. But
Oh, okay, okay.
we did a show live from the auction tent after an auction already happened with the leftovers, and did a really fun show. It was oh yeah, Timeless Treasures and Absolute Flipping Deals were there helping me, and it was a lot of fun actually under the auction tent selling, but on Whatnot. And I will be I'm going to move it to Saturday, but I have a monthly auction in my booth. One of my booths is an auction booth at the antique market, and it's like a silent auction. So I will be doing what didn't sell. I will be doing a show on Whatnot with it on Saturday.
Ooh,
I think
okay.
Saturday.
Ooh, fun. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yes, Chelsea, you need to come to the Northumberland Vintage Outdoor Market with us. So the past
North
2 years, there
Oh,
have
I'm
been
screen.
groups of us who have the the Northumberland Vintage Market is an outdoor market in September of every year, and it is freaking huge. And it's like this will be the third year. The first year we had what did we have, a 10 by 40 tent, and there was three of us. um it was Time Hop Treasures came from Alberta, and we had myself and Cobweb Vintage. And last year we had Thrifting with ADHD, Oh Yeah, Timeless Treasures, Absolute Flipping Deals, and Shop with Tasha sent some stuff too. She couldn't make it. Okay, I can see you there. Thank you, Melody. So and it was, yeah, our tent was 20 by 60, I think. So if anybody wants to, that we there's just down the road from me, which is only 15 minutes away from the place. um it there's cabins, the cottages right on the river. And yeah, so Thrifting with ADHD stayed in the little cottage, went out for dinner. Like it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work because we have to set it up the night before, but we had so much fun, and we talked about Whatnot with a ton of people.
That sounds
And
awesome. Oh my
yeah,
god.
so the plan is I will be putting it on the Discord as soon as as soon as I get the information. They want us back. She's already said she wants us back, so it's going to have to be bigger. Thankfully,
Oh
it's
my
a
god.
farmer's field, so we'll have more room to grow. But if you are interested, look for
Yes.
the information on the Discord. That's where I'll be putting the information. And Melody is going to be on in just a second. Here she comes. She's on live now. So I'm going to ask you the final question that I always ask everybody.
Okay.
And I apologize if there's any questions that I didn't get to today. I'm back on tomorrow morning, and I'm going to be doing a topic show. And I think we're just going to kind of talk about weekly bundling, because a lot of people have questions about that. So that's going to be my focus, is on weekly bundling rather than top seller secrets. But it'll be secrets about using weekly bundling to your advantage. So if you if if a new seller came to you and asked you what they should do to make themselves successful on Whatnot, what advice would you give them?
Oh, that's a tough question to answer because there's so many things I wanna say.
That's okay. Say
Um,
them all.
but say them all. Um, okay, well, definitely consistency because, like, I know you guys have brought that up, a bunch of times, but, being consistent and believing in yourself, like, don't stop
Yeah.
believing in yourself. Like, that's the one thing I would say to them is source what you love. In the beginning, your buyers will tell you what they like, and then you can kind of ease those 2 things in together. Like, what you love and also what other people love, and you just kind of mix that in, and then it becomes your brand, it becomes your shop. So, Start out sourcing what you love. Don't give up on yourself because you had a day where you didn't have any viewers or you didn't have any sales. Keep networking. That is like the main thing for me. um I don't think consistency is all that like pertains to my success on the platform. I do think that networking is probably equal to that. I don't only just go into people's chats and say, hey, what's up? I go in there, I like get to know them. I show up for them. I show support for them. I buy from them. I'll share their lives. Like, so that is like a huge thing, is networking. So that's another thing, is like, do your networking, make your friends on the platform, find your people, find your people
Yep.
on the platform. Don't be afraid to be authentic, be yourself. People love that. People love unique uh people who are not like other people. So don't be afraid to be yourself. But like, yeah, main thing, source what you love, be yourself and believe in yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I love that so much. Chelsea, thank you so much for hanging out with us. People, don't go. Please don't go, because this conversation is not over. Chelsea we're now flipping over to Melody.
Okay.
So everybody stay on because we're going to flip over to Melody, and Melody has more questions to ask Chelsea, related to fashion and everything. So, thank you so much for your time. I really
Thank you for
appreciate
your
it so much.
time.
It's so great to meet you. I
It's so
love
great
when
to
I get
meet
to do
you.
these. Yes. And so everyone stay around. We're going to raid. If you've never been part of a raid, fear not. I promise you, it is nothing bad. When I first started on Whatnot, I think I was in I Will Always Love Vintage show, and she said we're going to raid, and I left because I was like, I panicked, and I immediately like left because I thought that it meant that we were going to like harm another seller, because it sounded bad. It sounds like, a raid. A raid's
It
not a
sounds
good thing.
aggressive. Yeah.
So I literally was like, I'm out of here. Because yeah, I
Yeah,
thought
guys,
we were gonna pillage them like we were pirates or something. And so I left, and then like the next time I realized that it wasn't that. But yeah, the things you do when you first start on Whatnot. That was like
yeah.
that was almost a year ago, because I like downloaded the app in like February of 2023, so almost 3 years. All right,
Wow.
thank you so much.
Okay.
We're gonna run over to Melody now. Everybody stay. The conversation is going to be awesome with Melody and Chelsea, and so I love you guys. I will see you tomorrow, and we're going to talk more about weekly bundling. And I'm going to try and answer questions that I can and talk about strategies to use weekly bundling to your advantage. Love you guys. Have a great day. Thank you again,
Bye,
Chelsea.
Cam.
Let's
Thanks for having
go.
me.